It's September, and let's see. Welcome to my kitchen area. And so, what we're going to pretend this evening is that there's a campfire because I am like the ultimate campfire singer. I was a star in the campfire circle. Um, and Just ask anybody, they'll know. But anyway, just picture there's a campfire and everybody's sitting around and it's warm and cozy and and everybody's well fed and good company and there's lots of acoustic instruments and people are going to share some songs and it's very warm and uh, emotionally warm. Um, and yeah, that just picture that and we'll get through this just fine. No mask, can sit next to each other. Not right now. Just pretend right now. Stars besides me. Let me come in and share your light, for I am without a friend tonight. Let me come in and share your light in a warm place by your fire. It looks so golden and warm within, sheltered from the winter wind. Songs and laughter and friends and kin brought me to your door. Oh, let me come in and share your light, for I am without a friend tonight. Let me come in and share your light, a warm place by your fire. Open your door, for here I stand. My only gift is my empty hand, an empty heart and a broken plan on this dark day of the year. Oh, let me come in and share your light, for I am without a friend tonight. Let me come in and share your light and a warm place by your fire. I am without a home today, and soon I will be on my way. I only ask that you let me stay for an hour by your fire. Oh, let me come in and share your light, for I am without a friend tonight. Let me come in and share your light and a warm place by your fire. That is a song by Alouetta Iselin. So yeah, the last time I was talking to you about people who were dying, and so this time let's mix it up a little bit. Let's talk about old people, something I know about. And it's like when you get older, or old, or elder, or senior. I love that word senior because it's like high school or something. I was a freshman, but now I'm a senior. So yeah, when you become senior, it gets very isolating. People try to keep their distance from you, and you know they really don't want to spend a lot of time with you. So it's kind of like everybody's a senior now, right? Everybody is living the same experience. So yeah, the seniors that I know, some people say that when you get older, you become very kind. Some seniors, when they get older, become cranky and just become these little elder Nazis, and they like to go around and control everybody else's behavior because they know best. And yeah, that is definitely a trend. And, you know, bless their hearts. There's not much else to do except control other people's behavior. I digress. I could go on and talk about, yeah, but it's interesting. It's like, why is it that when some people get older, they become very creative and they go out and volunteer in their community? I know people who are, since I've become older, I've met people who are even older than I am, and people in their 70s and 80s, and they're out volunteering. And I met this one woman. She was Peace Corps volunteer, and she was 78 years old, and she was down there and sleeping on a cot helping hurricane victims. I know people who are out in the food banks. People who are creating music and art, and during this very, very difficult time are reaching out and making sure people have rides, and and just trying to find a way to help. And then there are people who get older and they're just unhappy. They're just not happy people. They just are not living in happy retirement. Life is not a Centrum commercial. So let's mix it up a little bit, and let's talk about getting old. What I've found is that as I get older, I am becoming invisible, first of all. People really don't spend a lot of time listening to what I have to say, so social interactions are difficult. It's very isolating. I spend a lot of time alone because dating options for a person like me, most of my kind of people died, and if you know what I mean. And so I'm sort of like this rare artifact of culture here to begin with. But then as you get older, it just becomes very difficult. You go on to these like senior dating apps, and believe me, that's a wake up. Believe me, oh my God, scary. Life is not a Centrum commercial. Just, I'm going to break that to you now. So you have like things on there that you really didn't need to see ever. And well, they said I'd never be the same. They said I'd never, ever, ever be the same. Now that I'm old, they said, put up your feet and take your vitamin. Yeah, yeah. And I said, stop telling me stuff I don't want to hear. What am I doing with all these old people around me? I said, stop telling me stuff I don't want to hear. Well, I ain't ready to disappear, 'cause I'm an active senior. Just gotta move, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm an active senior. I just gotta move. I gotta get some satisfaction and get on my groove. 'Cause I'm an active senior. Don't be bumming my trip. Yeah, I'm an active senior. Don't be bumming my trip. I wanna boogie all night, shake and double dip. They said, honey, you really need to get in bed. You're so old. Honey, you better get yourself in bed before you fall down, hurt yourself. And don't forget to take all of those meds. Well, I looked them in the eye and I said, I looked them straight in the eye, well, almost straight, and I said, I'll tell you what, why don't you just stop messing with my head? Well, if I get out of bed, what am I going to do? Oh, well, if I get out of bed, what am I going to do? I'm going to go look for some cheap thrills of the wooden shoe. Got a lot of soul and some TLC. Yeah, yes sirree. Yeah, I still got a lot of soul and some TLC. Oh yes sirree. All I need is some love. You just wait and see. I got the active senior. Got the active senior blue. I got the active senior blue. Well, with a little help from my friends, I'm gonna do just what I choose. Okay, so let's talk more about getting old. For all you young people who are just like totally freaked out by old people, it's like, ooh, and is that going to happen to me? Yes, it's going to happen to you, and ooh. With that in mind, people talk, oh, that's what they do, but they don't understand how I push and go through, and they laugh, oh, they laugh and they call me names, but they don't get it, how they see me hold my head just the same. Well, never let them get you down, never let them see you frown, never let them take away your levity. Live your life and be free, never let them get you starting today, live your life and live it your way. When they see me, they just keep on talking, I don't see them. I just keep on walking, I've got my pride. I never show my bad side. Well, some of them see me as a big pushover, left me for dead, think I'm gonna kill. Oh no, not I will survive, oh yeah. Never let them get you down, never let them see you frown. Never let them take away your levity, live your life and be free. Oh yeah, now never let them get you down, never let them see you frown. Never let them lead you astray, starting today, live your life and live it your way. People talk, oh that's what they do, but they don't understand how I push and go through. And they laugh, oh they laugh and they call me names, but they just don't get it. How they see me, I hold my head up just the same. Never let them get you down, never let them see you frown. Never let them take away your levity, live your life and be free. Never let them get you down, never let them see you frown. Never let them lead you astray, starting today, live your life and live it your way. That is a song by Etana, E-T-A-N-A, Etana. They do it way better than I do. Go online and check it out, they're very fun. I just saw somebody online, Joe Troop, oh my goodness, Joe Troop, check him out. He does this thing called Pickin' for Progress in North Carolina, and they play music to promote progressive social issues. What a voice he has, yo. So yeah, I may be moving to North Carolina to hang out with that guy. So, but yeah, I wanted to talk about an experience I had many, many years ago. I lived in San Francisco back in the 70s. And San Francisco back then was just this amazing city. And a lot of us romanticized that particular period in the city, and you know, and whether we're ignoring all the bad things or not, I don't know, but I do remember it as being a wonderful place to live in many aspects. First of all, you could walk everywhere in the city, and it was just great, and there were cable cars and buses and trolleys and all that stuff. But it was a great city to walk in, and wonderful architecture and views, and all these different neighborhoods, and there was cultures, various cultures, very diverse cultures going on depending on which neighborhood you were in. Like Castro was very gay, and Mission District was very Hispanic, and there was a Chinese neighborhood, and the hippies in Haight-Ashbury. I tended to live down near Polk Street, between Polk and downtown, and that was a really a melting pot, because it was close to all of those neighborhoods, and so you had a real mix of people. You had businessmen from downtown, and you had the Chinese community and everything, and it was also a very gay friendly street at the time. And so there were these boarding houses in San Francisco, and I don't know if they exist or not still, but back then they were pretty common. And you rented a room in a hotel by the week, and it wasn't a normal hotel. in that they only gave you sheets and towels once a week, and you usually shared a bathroom with people on the same floor with you. So it was like a residential hotel. So I lived in those for part of the time I lived there. And the one I lived in was called the Pine Street Hotel. And it was wonderful because I was just starting out painting, and I was learning from an artist there in San Francisco. And I would paint in my room. I'd do these portrait paintings. And the hotel, for the most part, was filled with elderly people. And for some reason, most of them had been classical musicians. And I guess they just decided that this was the residential hotel that they would congregate in as they got older. And there were a handful of young people, like myself at the time, and I was probably in my early 20s. And so there were a handful of people in their early 20s living there who were also artists and writers and, bohemian eccentrics, as San Francisco was well known for having. And so I'd paint in my room, and then when I'd finish a painting, I'd go down in the lobby, and they would throw a party. All the elderly musicians would throw a party, and we would unveil my painting. And there was a lot of drinking going on. They were very into vodka, and they would put on. We had record players back then. If anybody doesn't know what that is look it up. And so they put on classical music and pass around vodka and make drinks, and then we'd have an unveiling of my painting, and they showered me with, "That's perfect, it's so good, and oh my God, you're a great painter." It was just encouragement. And then we'd just sit there and get drunk and listen to classical music. And it was wonderful because they were really good classical musicians. I would take them down to, there was a piano store there, Sherman Music, I think it was called. And the piano store would allow these old classical musicians to come in and play the pianos. I don't know what they got out of it, but they let them do it. And so I was the only person in the hotel who had a car, and there was only one parking space for the whole hotel, so they let me have it. But in exchange, I was like the taxi service. And so I'd take them down to the music store and back. And then some evenings, when I wasn't painting, we would just have drinking parties. And there was one woman, and you put the needle on the record, and she could tell you exactly what that piece of music was and the composer and everything about it within like 4 seconds. I mean, she just bam, got it. She got it every single time. And we constantly tried to beat her at it, but she always knew every song. But anyway, it was a very lovely, warm place to hang out. And one evening, everybody's drinking and everybody's just listening to classical music and having fun. And they made me promise. They said, "Jim, wherever you end up, you must come back to San Francisco. This is your home." And that stuck with me. I mean, I do feel that in many ways. But it's funny because as I get older, the concept of home is at times very like the feels, and there's two places that I really feel that, and one is San Francisco, and it was just a charming city. It's like one of the few cities in my mind. There's only two cities in the United States that have character like that, and one is San Francisco and the other is New Orleans. But San Francisco back then had character and charm everywhere. It was just filled with fascinating people, and there was a downside to it, and I remember the downside to it, but I won't go into that. Anyway, and the other place that I feel that I miss my home is Tucson, but for a completely different reason. It's like it was more my home, like I had a partner and pets and, sort of an average life, mortgage and going shopping and things like that. And that was very warm and loving, and, and I miss it. I miss it almost every day. And I miss my dogs so much. So yeah, so now I'm their age, but I look back at them and I think, well, that was a pretty cool way of getting older. You're in this residential hotel in San Francisco, and you're partying and got friends around you, and it was pretty cool. So yeah, okay, so we're at a campfire. Okay, the fire, and I've put my glasses on to read, and I just found this song. This goes out to people who are watching my channel, and I don't know who you are. There's like 100 subscribers. Very few people ever comment on my channel, which is fine. I just think I tend to attract a more, what shall we say, a unique crowd who doesn't need to express their opinion online all the time. We are the few, but we are the choice YouTubers. Always remember that. Anyway, I just found this song, and this goes out to walking through the valley. Okay, so we've got the fire going. It's nice and warm. Put some more wood on the fire. Everybody's all cozy. Stars in the sky. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. You tell your story the way you want to tell it. When you've climbed the highest mountain, when a cloud holds the sunshine in, suddenly there's a valley where the earth knows peace with friends. When the storm hides the distant rainbow, and you think you can't find a friend, suddenly there's a valley where friendship never ends, touched only by the seashore, swept clean by the waving grain, surveyed by the happy bluebird, and kissed by the falling rain. When you think there's no bright tomorrow, and you feel you can't try again, suddenly there's a valley where hope